Life is going to knock you down. In one way, shape, or form, life is going to knock you down. Not necessarily physically, maybe. Maybe something's going to knock you over, right? Some of us are a little less stable these days as we get older than others, but life's going to hit you, man. It's going to knock the wind out of you. It's going to rock you off your path. It's going to completely just like on your back, knock you down sometimes. And that's going to happen. It's okay. That's life. It is going to happen. It's not the end of the world, hopefully. Some of these things are going to be traumatic and really difficult to get over. And some of these things are going to be just annoying. And it just, it's going to stick in your mind for a little bit, and you just got to keep rolling past it. Some things are going to be, it's a you thing. And we got to work on that. We got to identify what's a you thing and a me thing. Like, is this my problem or is that person's problem? If you're like me, I assume all of it's my problem, right? If you've heard the term internalization, I internalize everything. That's what I do. Like, if somebody says there's a problem, I go, oh crap, what did I do? Like, clearly I did something to make that happen. Well, it has nothing to do with me a lot of times, but that's who I am. But the most important thing about this is to remember that once you get knocked down, what do? Right? What's the natural thing to do? When you hear knocked down, you think get up. But not everybody does get up. Some people stay down. Some people get knocked down, something happens, or they were born into a situation, or life just dealt them a really bad hand, and they just stay down, man, because getting up's hard, dude. Especially depending on how you got knocked down. If it was a major thing and it just like took the wind right out of your sails, getting up's tough. It is tough, especially when you don't have a hand to help you get back up and you're just on your own, You're hurting, you're in pain, you're reeling, you can't breathe. And I'm speaking all figuratively, not literally, but when things happen in your life, you can stay down. You can stay down and go, well, I guess that's it. That's my story, and I'm never going to recover from that. Or you take it, you get up, and you help the next person up, right? It's not about getting knocked down. It's about getting up, and you got to keep getting up. Somebody said something this week. I think it was this week. One of you guys, one of my friends back there, and I cleared this with you. You said it was okay. I talked about this, but so thanks for the material. But we were talking about getting up, but we were talking about waking up. For me, waking up, right? I was talking about, somebody said something, Mr. Ryan, you get up really early. And I was like, yeah, I get up pretty early. And somebody said, oh, I heard it was like 3 a.m. And I said, actually, it's 2 a.m. And they were like, whoa, that's crazy. Why would you do that? And, at first I kind of hesitated, but I actually have recently started telling this portion of my story because for some of you that have heard my story, you definitely have heard a good portion of it, but not all of it, because only recently did I get the opportunity to tell like the real deal, some of the full details of what I've experienced in my life. And I will do a further talk for you on this at some other point, but the gist of it is I get up at 2 a.m. And it's not because I choose to get up at 2 a.m. I choose to get as much rest as I possibly can. My body wakes up 7 days a week, 365 days a year at 2 a.m. every day, never fails. And somebody said, well, that's crazy. And I said, no, actually, and before I could get that out, before I got that word out, one of you guys said, that's a trauma response. Yup, you nailed it. It is. It's a trauma response. And there's a whole story to that, to 2 a.m. for me. But what I've done, that's been my life for as long as I can remember, since I was a little boy. And there's a story behind that. The short version is my dad used to get me up at 2 a.m. before he went to work and before I went to school, and he forced me into packaging up little Ziploc baggie corners. We used to cut the corners off of Ziploc baggies, and he'd pack them with whatever he was selling and twist them up and throw them in a box, and that was his delivery for the day. I also had a portion in that I'll explain to you guys later, but it gets pretty deep and emotional and gritty, and that's a whole different video. But I'm up 2 a.m. every day. Now, that was my literal get up, right? My figurative get up, my idea of getting up in this situation is I still wake up at 2, but I'm working towards changing that, right? I'm getting over all of that stuff that used to control my brain and get me up for not really healthy reasons. Now I get up at 2, but I hit that snooze button. That's me getting up but not getting up, if that makes sense, right? So that trauma knocked me down because it was trauma, and the rest of the story is very traumatic, but I'll leave that. The point is that whole experience knocked me way down, man, and I never thought I'd get up. But actually nowadays, me sleeping in, me hitting snooze is me getting up. I'm up from that, man. I'm working through it. And that's going to happen for you guys too, right? You're going to have things that you're going to have to overcome. You're going to get knocked down. You don't stay down though. You never stay down. And if you can't get up by yourself, guess what? There are people everywhere, I promise you. And I used to feel like I was the only person going through what I was going through. And frankly, for many, many years, the things that went on inside of here based on my experiences, I really wasn't excited about telling people that because I thought that they would think differently of me. I thought that they would think less of me. I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, and all of that. And I really, frankly, I thought I was the only person. Until I met a good friend and we started talking about things and realized, whoa, like there's somebody else out there that experiences that? Yeah, there is. There's a lot more than you'd ever think. You're not alone in what you're feeling, I promise. Your experience and your perception, you're alone because it's unique to you. It can only be yours. But if you've been knocked down, I encourage you, man, if you can't get up, reach up your hand because there's people waiting to help you up. So the point is man, you can experience all the trauma and yeah, I mean, some of you guys have been through it, right? And we can stay down, and that can be the story for the rest of our life. We can just go, well, that sucked, and I guess that's gonna always suck. Or do we take what we learned? Do we take those experiences? We get up, put our hand out, next person up, man, you need some help? I've been there. I got knocked down too. Here's how I did it. I relied on other people. I changed my way of thinking. I hung around better people, made better choices, better influences. I grew up, I matured, whatever the case is, like, you're up. And you're not gonna stay up. Sometimes you'll get knocked down a little bit, sometimes you get knocked down a lot, but we keep going, keep getting up. But ultimately, you guys know me, I'm not gonna leave out the notion of getting down or getting knocked down and staying down. That's a cycle, man. That's a negative cycle. Getting knocked down and getting back up, that's a positive cycle. That's the cycle we want to create because we're cycle breakers. It's what we do. We break the negative cycles, we make the good positive ones, and we change our life, we change lives around us, we change generations that come after us. You guys are doing it, and I'm there with you. Let's do it. Break the cycle. Keep getting up.